Last week's weather was frankly miserable, but now the temperatures have warmed up, we can brag about surviving those brutally cold sub-zero temperatures. If we can survive 47 below, we can do just about anything, right? Well, Bismarck native Nolan Maher says growing up here prepared him for the biggest research experience of his life. Jody Kurzman has his story.
This is after we landed.
Nolan Maher
This is my walk to work every day.
snapped these photos
Picture from the C-17 window.
at the South Pole.
Penguin.
He spent 2.5 months there
Me standing at the South Pole.
working on a research project
I'm right there.
for the University of Minnesota.
The Bicep telescope, which is a group of telescopes.
It is complicated research that must be
Christmas dinner.
conducted in a dry, high-altitude climate.
The South Pole is one of the driest places on Earth, which means that it's very well suited for the light we look at.
And thanks to his North Dakota roots, Nolan was well suited to work in Antarctica.
The high is -5 and the lows get down to -40 air temp, and then the wind blows all the time. This is the start of the South Pole Marathon.
Nolan even ran a 10K while at the South Pole.
It was -50 wind chill, and I was just finishing the 10K.
He says the biggest adjustment wasn't the weather, but rather the 24 hours of sunlight.
Total light all the time, yeah.
The research Nolan worked on is set to wrap up in the next 3 years.
That's our issued gear.
And now that he's got one trip under his belt, Nolan is anxious to go back to Antarctica
I'd like to go back at least one more time.
because not even the weather can keep Nolan from seeing this research through to the end.
Looking into the telescope.
In Bismarck, I'm Jody Kurzman, reporting for your news leader.
Well, Nolan's time at the South Pole was during their summer. He says from February to October is winter there, and temperatures get even colder, as cold as 100 degrees below zero.